So here we have a video to tell the difference between the two plenums and a little bit of information here. It's not very obvious and there's not very good information out there as to compatibility between the two plenums, and I actually found myself in this issue, and that's why I have both different styles here. First off, I'd like to thank Nate Mew for letting me use his plenum. That was really great of him. So let's start off with some differences. This is a older style, and this is from a 90 to 92 for an NA, and a 90 to 93 for the TTs. And then this is a late style here, and this is from 93 to 96 NA, 94 to 96 TT. The first thing that you'll see, and this is the most obvious way to tell the difference between the two, is the throttle spring covers. And you'll see the late style has no bracketry here. It's very smooth, very clean, very simple. But if we move on to the late style here, you'll see that it has mounting points for these brackets on either side. And these covers that come off of an Infinity J30 can match this spot. And you see where it covers up the spring there. So that's one thing you can do to clean up your engine bay. Just have this polished up, powder coated. I'll be selling all of the extras that I have to Christopher V. Carl. And so if you guys want some of those extra throttle spring covers, powder coated or whatever, Christopher will be happy to help you. And go hit him up on Facebook and get in contact with him. He'll do a lot of other powder coating stuff for the small bracketry and whatever. So there's another difference here, and I'm going to flip this one up. This is your late style again, and the EGR. So this is the main point here of incompatibility. If you want to use the throttle spring covers like the late style, but you live in California, you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to switch between the two. The EGR ports are slightly different. Now, no one really knows why Nissan went and just did this, and it was kind of pointless too, because they kind of did it on the wrong side, if anything. So you'll notice the angle of this port is about 40 degrees to the plenum, and the other side is about the opposite, about 40 degrees again to the inside. But if you go over to the new style plenum and you do the same thing to go check it out, you'll notice that they changed the angle of the EGR ports on one of the sides, not even both, only one of the sides. Here's the, this would be the driver's side, which has the wiring harness on this side, making it harder to access this bolt. And here's the passenger side, which you'll notice is almost straightforward, which makes it easier to access the bolt that would have been on the inside. But they only changed the angle by about 20 to 25 degrees, and they only changed it on one side for no known reason. All they really did is make it harder for us to switch between the two plenums, which really sucks. So since the only main physical difference besides the brackets is the EGR, if you live in a state where you can remove your EGR without inspections or anything like that, you can effectively change to the newer style plenum to get your throttle spring covers, or switch to the older style if you want to have everything clean. The other difference that I'd like to point out, since I have one, is on the 96, which this one came off of my car. The TPS sensor is actually completely different because of the OBD2 electronics. This one, you'll notice, is backwards with the connectors facing the back of the motor, while all of your other TPS from the 90 to 95 will face forwards. They're not interchangeable. You'll notice the throttle bodies are also different. This side is shorter, this side is longer, requiring a longer bolt, and the voltages read out from the TPS are also different, where on the early style you need 0.4 volts to 0.5 volts. This is more like 0.36 or something a bit different, and the overall range is also different for idle, closed loop, and I believe the top end is also quite different. So unfortunately you can't run those on the other style Zs. Other than those three differences, there's no differences between the years. However, there's one more difference that I'd like to point out. However, both of these are NA plenums. But if you want to go from a TT to an NA plenum, the only difference is these fittings on the side, the vacuum port fittings. And you can get these new from Nissan for something like 10 bucks or less. They're really not that bad. They come much shinier than this. But the TTs will have one extra vacuum port. I can't recall if it's on this guy or on this one, but If you have a TT Plenum and you're pulling yours and you have another backup, you can just, you know, move the backing ports over and have no problem. So other than that, I guess maybe I'll walk you through, but I'll do that on another video for the coolant bypass. This video is just to identify the plenums. Maybe you want to go with another route, but stick tuned for another video. Pretty soon I'll have another camera too. It'll be 1080p, so I can retire this one. I should be coming in a week, but I need to rush and get all this stuff powder coated. But I'll have that ready for you guys in the next couple of days. Alright, see ya!